So I know our listeners are probably thinking, okay, real estate investing and becoming a millionaire. How many properties do I need to do that? How does one do that? So can you walk us through how many properties you have and kind of what you touched on it, but kind of what your investing strategy is?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as far as like how many properties do you need to become a millionaire, it completely depends on your market and what houses go for. And for anyone who's curious, like a millionaire doesn't mean you make $1 million a year. It means your net worth is $1 million. So, and your net worth is calculated based on everything you own minus everything you owe. So if you own $4 million worth of real estate and you owe $3 million of mortgages, you have a net worth of $1 million. So although now my income is 7 figures, like I do make over $1 million a year, which is it's just crazy, but my net worth crossed $1 million. Like I had $1 million of assets when I was 24. And I believe I had 3 houses. I have to, man, it's been like, it's all sort of blurs together, but basically what I did was my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, we bought a house in December of 2015. And we decided we're going to live in the master bedroom and then rent out the extra bedrooms. And by doing that, we were living completely for free. Now, again, we had roommates, which can be very irritating and frustrating, but we were living in a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom home just outside the city of Seattle, completely for free. And 9 months later, because we were saving all that money by not paying rent and not paying a mortgage, we were able to buy our second house. And we rented that out by the bedroom as well. And after the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and maintenance were all paid on that one, we were collecting like $2,000 a month in pure cash flow and just profit. So then we were like, okay, this is sweet. So 6 months later, we did it again. We bought a third house. We moved into that one. So we got owner occupied primary residence. You can put less down and have a better interest rate. And again, we moved into that new house. We rented out all the bedrooms. The master bedroom that we moved out of, we leased that out as well. So now we have 3 houses going. We're living for free. We're making like $4,000 a month in passive income. Plus we're living for free. And we just kept doing that. And eventually we got up to 6 houses, a total of 40 renters, because it's all by the room, collecting about $40,000 a month in rent, which is just, it's just mind blowing. And this last year, so in the year 2021, we made just under $2 million.
Wow. For our listeners right there, like me and Shire, we a little bit speechless because
yes,
Todd just broke down like a mastermind session in just like a few minutes.
Yes.
So Todd, tell me about like the home, buying a home and renting out the rooms. And aside from the house hacking, I understand you did that with your other properties. How do you manage that? Is that something you manage yourself? Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience of renting out rooms? Because I think that's incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I will say too, so I've done the room rentals, I've done traditional rentals, and then I've also done like Airbnb stuff.
Okay.
But so the room rentals, I think, is the most bang for your buck. And what I mean by that is this. So there's the traditional way of buying real estate, right? You have one tenant in there or one family in there, and they pay basically the rent covers the mortgage and a little bit of profit. On the opposite end of the spectrum, there's Airbnb, which the rent can be crazy. You can be making just a crazy amount of money, but it's so much work because every day you got to go in there and clean the Airbnb, right? So it might be like 10 times the money, but maybe it's 12 times the work. With house hacking, what I've realized is it's 2 to 3 times the money, but it's not 2 to 3 times the work, which is why I kept doing that. So it's more lucrative than a traditional rental, not as lucrative as Airbnb, but it's way less work. And so basically here's how we did it. So in my area, I live in Seattle, which is a very expensive area. A studio apartment goes for like $1,800 a month. That does not include utilities. It doesn't even include parking. It's like an extra $150 per car, right? So we figured, well, there's a lot of young people in their 20s who are saddled with student loan debt. They have an entry-level job. They don't want to go spend $1,800 on a studio apartment, but they'd probably be down to spend $900 for a room. And so that was sort of our model. We were like, well, let's make sure that our price is half of whatever a studio is, and it's all inclusive of utilities. So we include, cable, internet, Netflix, Hulu. We got like a house, a Disney Plus account, like all that stuff. We also have a weekly maid, and she comes and cleans the entire house from top to bottom because we knew that roommates might fight about mess. We also supply all the paper products in the bathroom. So like if you have a roommate and you guys share a bathroom and you're buying all the toilet paper and your roommate's the one always using it, eventually you're going to get irked and irritated. You're going to want to move out. So we bought all of it. We bought all of the soap, the toilet paper, all that stuff. We just had it like a package deal basically. And our average room is $900 to $1,000, right? And in a 6-bedroom house, that's $6,000 for one house, where the market rent might be $2,500. I have an 8-bedroom house that we're collecting $8,000 a month on. The market rent, if you go to like Zillow and see the rent estimate, it's like $2,700. I'm getting $8,000 per month, $4,000 of which is pure profit after all the stuff I talked about, the utilities, the housekeeping, all that stuff. So I do manage it all myself. It's really not that hard. I have an all-female house. I have an all-male house. And then I have some mixed houses where they don't mind, but I try my best to match everyone by personality. It's not an exact science, but like if your idea of a good night is like Harry Potter and a glass of wine, I'm not going to put you in a house where their idea of a good night is like, they're up till 3 a.m. blasting their music and doing shots on the kitchen, right? So it's just sort of like trying to get people together that I think would mesh well. And then of course, once that happens, correcting anything that I need to down the way.
That's amazing because Todd, what you essentially are doing is you're doing a hybrid of the Airbnb strategy and then just traditional buy and hold strategy, and you're like, you met somewhere in the middle. So I mean, this is amazing. So you're keeping the peace by supplying all these different things. Like the more I supply, the less arguments and less ultimately the less turnover, right? We want to keep renters in the house. That's the goal. So
yeah, I've had a guy renting for me for the past 6 years. And it's like, this isn't a guy who has to rent a room. He makes good money. He doesn't want to buy a place because he doesn't know where he wants to live long term. And he loves the fact that it's all included. He writes one check and that does everything. So yeah, I think, it's the idea of trying to solve problems even before they arise. Like, people will fight about mess. So before that even happens, hire a maid, and she goes through, she cleans the whole house from top to bottom every single week. And it just makes it a hell of a lot easier.